Picked some fresh herbs from the garden. We're going to put that into the meat to marinate. But we need to finely chop it. Got parsley, we got chives, we have oregano. I'm going to add garlic too, because everything needs garlic. Everything, really. It's a true fact. You see the pork is there. Let's add the fresh herbs. I'm going to actually do 3 cloves of garlic. I really need to start planting this stuff. Let's give it one more squeeze to make sure we got all the garlic. Got some fresh honey from my friend. We ought to add some to that. Not a lot, just enough to know that it's there. Not too much. Not too much of this stuff.
That's it. Get it.
I actually have sesame oil. We're going to add that there. And that's going to be good. Not a lot. Just enough to taste it. Let's do a little rice vinegar too. Oh man, that smells so good. Listen, this looks extremely good as a filling. We're going to let this sit overnight and marinate. Let everything kind of work together. I don't want it to be saturated with all the things. However, look at that. It looks really good. It's pliable where you can put little teaspoons in the dumplings. And let's just let it marinate and do its thing. Put that in the fridge until tomorrow. We're gonna go ahead and get started on these pot stickers, and I'm gonna go ahead and get them stuffed and rolled up. I think I'm gonna call them pot stickers, but they're just gonna be wonton wrapped, meat filled. I guess they're pot stickers. I think I'm gonna probably make as many as I can and go from there. I have to admire this cutting board. Everest made this cutting board when he was in 8th grade. I just thought it was like the neatest thing. I'm just putting about a teaspoon, approximately, maybe a little more, inside the squares. And then I'm folding them however I want to. And anybody can fold them however they want to. There's no real secret in that. I have about 1 pound worth of pork that I'm using. And the pork is from our ornery pig, Big Mama. Thank you, Big Mama. She was ornery, but I don't have a problem eating her at all. She had a good life. There's different varieties of things you could put in the meat to marinate. I like to marinate it overnight just to get the flavors all going. But the main ingredients that I really like is the fish sauce, oyster sauce, of course, just splash of those, soy sauce, garlic, green onion, and really that's at your discretion. You figure out what works for you. Some people like to put ginger. I like to put honey. And I was just able to get some fresh honey from my friend. I'm just going to make a bunch of these. And I'm going to cook them on a stove top where I'll put a little bit of oil in the pan, get it really hot. Then I'll turn it down to medium and get them fried up. When we get our processing kitchen done, I'll probably make these wonton papers myself. I have looked at the recipe. I just need a pasta press. Fairly easy. It's really like flour. I believe it's like flour, water, and salt. But if you're making them by hand without the pasta presser, it's really labor intensive. It could be really hard to roll out perfectly flat sheet like you can with a pasta presser. So when I get a pasta presser, I'll probably make these by hand because it doesn't seem like it would be hard. And the recipe is so simple. Stuff that we have around the house anyway. I love pot stickers. I could eat a bunch of these. And the boys really like it. Mark really likes pot stickers. Everest is now 17 and he made this when he was in middle school, like 8th grade, the cutting board. So he's always found interest to work with his hands. He's made a few pieces of furniture at the high school as well. And it's funny, one time he was like, I need you to pick me up from school. And I'm like, why? Just ride the bus. And he goes, well, I have a side table I made. So I need you to pick it up. I'm not carrying that to the bus. I'm like, oh, sounds fair. I'll come get you. But he's always been interested in woodworking. I always like to make a little bit of extra because I don't typically cook every day. Sometimes it's just me, Mark, and Logan. And if I make a little extra, then they have leftovers or we have leftovers for the next day. And that works for our family. That way I can get more outside work done. Same for them. Logan, should we make all of these?
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
how's it looking out there?
done.
Done? Really?
I do,
Yeah, so we just need to do a cleanup. The trees.
They're burning now. I don't know how well they're gonna stay burning.
What do you mean they're burning? Like the whole tree or the brushes?
All the brush stuff.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
Decided to try to burn it now because I'm like, it's green and it's wet,
Uh-huh.
So if it'll burn slower than if it's 3 days old in the heat
Yeah.
and it goes off like a rocket,
Oh, that's a good idea. At this point, I'm just trying to keep up with the frying pan and getting these closed up. But we're almost done, and it looks like Logan already really loves them, so he's already eaten them. And I think we have just enough wontons wraps for the whole pound of pork. I'm using my Alexa to set timers so I can flip my my wontons in the pan, so that way they get cooked about 2.5 minutes on each side. And I have it about medium or so on the heat. Once you get it nice and hot, I have it on the low medium, not like low but not medium, but right in between there. Alexa, set a timer for 2.5 minutes. Well, I ran out of papers before I can cook the meat. I could just save the meat for tomorrow. We can make a patty and have a breakfast sandwich with that. If I had egg roll wraps, this would be kind of a similar process. I'd make egg rolls as well. Now I'm just going to manage the stove at this point, flipping and taking them off every 2.5 minutes, and I have Alexa stop. That way they're cooked. You can see they don't have to be perfect, but man, they're good. That one's kind of hot. Let's open up one that's not so hot. You can definitely taste the honey in the meat.
Right there?
Mm-hmm. And the soy, that sweet and savory. It's just so good.
Yep.
Better save some for Mark.
Here's some for Mark.